What's up, guys? Ricky here with another review on Batrocitus from Death Metal Batman. So let's take a look real quick in the package. So, pretty menacing looking Batman face. Kind of reminds me of the face off of the original Batman Begins, is what it kind of reminds me of when the Scarecrow took that serum and it made him look like that. I think, anyways. That's kind of cool. Very menacing looking. You do have, obviously, he's a Red Lantern here, so you have the Red Lantern outfit. Looks like we got some good textures. Reminds me a lot of the Atrocitus Build-A-Figure. Looking pretty good. Looks like it comes with some extra fist hands. And a Red Lantern, which I'll definitely use with Atrocitus as well. Looks like there'll be definitely some opportunity around a black wash for sure. Definitely the legs. Those details could definitely be enhanced by that. And definitely a black wash throughout. That'll just look really good on it. So, cool. So there it is in the package. Here's the side of the package. So, Batrocitus. Here's the back of the package. So, from Dark Knight's Death Metal. And pretty cool action figure shot there. I like it. And they really enhance the reds on this figure because you can see how shiny that little design is on his head. And then here's the side. Cool. Okay, well, let's open this up and see what we're looking at. Okay, here is Batrocitus out of the package, and this is looking pretty sweet, actually. It's much cooler out of the package than I thought it was going to be. So, here we go, up close. So we got a really nice face sculpt there. Really kind of monstrous looking. I like that they did dry brushing of the teeth, and it looked like they might have done a wash on the inside, too, which is nice. So, let's see. Let's take a look at it real quick. Comes back around. Yeah, did a little wash on the inside where the tongue is. Looks good. Got some really nice eyes. Looks like the armor is just bright red and kind of glossy, which looks pretty good. Like I said, I'm going to add a black wash to it to make it look a little better. Really good texture details on the rest of the suit, though. Like I said, it reminds me a lot of the Atrocitus Build-A-Figure. Looks really nice. I love that they go that detailed with some of the textures. Super stoked. Boots look pretty good. Gauntlets look pretty good. Both of those could benefit from a black wash for sure. Comes with this nice clear Red Lantern. Those extra fists, a display stand, and it comes with a character card. So it's the same image from the back of the package. So Batrocitus Dark Knight's Death Metal. And here is his data file. If you want to read it, pause your screen now. Okay, cool. So yeah, looking pretty good. So now how about we get into the articulation? Head moves back that far. So can look up pretty good, so not too bad. Can look down very far, which I feel like McFarlane toys usually do well. You have a pivot there, a nice pivot. Side to side. You got some rotation, of course, per usual. This one does stick a little bit when you rotate it, but I don't think that's a bad thing necessarily. You have the shoulders go up past 90 degrees, even with the shoulder piece. I thought this was going to hinder it because they're pretty thick shoulder pieces, but it does not. So that's pretty cool. So has double jointed elbows. You have wrist articulation and pivot as well, which is nice. Okay, and then you have this. Ab crunch goes back about that far, so not super far back, and then goes forward quite a bit. So this one actually crunches better forward than it does back, which I think is kind of unusual. I've noticed most of them lately have crunched better backwards than forwards. You have forward, likes to go forward about 90 degrees. You have double jointed knees, you have ankle articulation, toe articulation, and you have pivot as well. And the pivot's a little interesting on here because if you look really close, you can see right here you have this piece here, and you have this piece here, and you have this little tiny joint here for pivot. So it works, but it's kind of it's a little tricky. But it is hidden, which is nice. I know a lot of people complained about the previous ball joints of a lot of McFarlane's, some of the original series being way too noticeable. So it's definitely hidden, which I think is kind of cool. So, yeah. And this one also can do the splits about that far. And you do have the nice rotation side to side. So, very cool. So overall, I think it's pretty well articulated. And what I really like about it is none of it was stiff. So it was really easy to articulate it all, which is nice. Okay, here's a good size comparison here. So we have Atrocitus next to Batrocitus. We have Kyle Renner from Green Lantern. We have the new Deathstroke Rebirth. And we also have the Todd McFarlane Batman. So, yeah, I'll tell you right now, out of the gate, it's short. I expected this figure to be a little bit taller because Batman figures are typically taller, and I figured Batrocitus would be kind of large, but he's not. So if you look here, you have McFarlane Batman, which stands, about half a head taller. You have Kyle Renner that stands actually a little bit taller, not too much taller, but definitely by a smidge, which I don't think is very accurate. Obviously, a huge difference between Atrocitus and Batrocitus, of course, but that's to be expected. And it is quite a bit smaller than the new Deathstroke from DC Rebirth. So, yeah, I'd say the only gripe I'd say is it is a little short. So, typically, I think they do well with the size. I don't think it's really ever... I feel like they're relative, right? I mean, like, some of them are shorter, some of them are bigger, but overall, they all fit in really nicely. And I think this one just fits in a little short. That's all I can say. So, I'm sure in action shots and different poses, you'll be fine and you won't notice a big difference. But just having them all stand together, it is a little bit short. So, let's see real quick. Let me get my measuring tool out, and we'll see for sure how tall he is. Looks like Batrocitus stands at about 7 inches. So he's about 7 inches tall. Kyle Rayner stands about 7, almost 7 1/8 or 7 1/4. So yeah, so that's a little bit shorter for sure. So there we go. Let's get into final thoughts. Okay, final thoughts on Batrocitus. So I think overall, I think it's a really nice figure. I like the textures, I like the details. It's got great articulation. The sculpt is really nice. I like how bulky it is. I like the fact that it came with the red lantern, extra hands, etc. The only gripe I have is that it is a little short compared to some of the other McFarlane line. That is it. So overall, yeah, if you're looking to kind of expand your red lanterns or your kind of like your Green Lantern figures, I'd say this is one that you should definitely pick up for sure. I think it'll pose in there really well. We don't have a lot of red lantern stuff yet from McFarlane, so that'd be good. Anything you can get for it, the better. I know we have some Green Lantern stuff, plenty of Green Lantern, I think, for the most part. We have the Black Lantern series, so if you're looking to kind of build that universe, this is one that you should definitely have in that arsenal. But overall, like I said, great figure, just a little on the short side. So if you enjoyed this today, feel free to like and subscribe, and I will continue to bring reviews to you and customizations, etc. So be on the lookout, and I will catch you next time.